Time to dive into LangChain. So let's think of it as your Swiss Army knife for building AI applications. Now, if you have ever tried to build something with ChatGPT or other AI models and felt really overwhelmed by all these moving parts, then LangChain is here to save your day. So imagine you're building a house. You could craft every single tool from scratch, or you could just use a well-stocked toolbox. Now, LangChain is that toolbox, but for AI applications. Now, what problem exactly LangChain solves for us? So let's start with this simple question. Why can't just we call the OpenAI API directly and we just call it a day? Well, let me paint you a picture here. So you are building a customer support chatbot. Sounds simple, right? Just send user messages to GPT and get response back. But here where it gets really tricky. The first problem is memory issues. Now, the LLMs or the large language models are like that friend who has no short term memory. So, every conversation is a brand new to them. And this is a conversation example right here. So, the user sent a message, "Hey, I'm John, and I have a burning question." And the AI responds, "Hello, how can I help you?" And then the user says, "What is my current balance?" Then the AI says, "I don't know who you are or what account you are referring to." So you see the problem? You need to manually manage conversation history, which means storing previous messages, including relevant context in each new request, then managing the token limits. You can't really send infinite history because it will cost you a lot of money, of course. Now, the second problem is complex prompt engineering. So usually your prompts will quickly evolve from just a simple request to a very complex instructions. And let you give you example right here. So this is a prompt. It says you are a customer support agent for Tech Corp, and there are the rules. Be friendly but professional. If asked about billing, check the user's account first. Never share personal information with unauthorized users. If you can't help, then escalate to human support. Responses should be underhanded words and previous conversation, and we're sending that as a variable, and also we're sending the user question. Now, this is a prompt template, and this is not a simple one. And this usually gets really unwindly fast, complex, especially when you need different prompt template for different scenarios. Now, the third problem is data integration challenges. Now, real applications, of course, need to work with various data sources, like your company database, or PDF documents, or even web APIs and knowledge bases. Now, connecting all these pieces manually is like trying to conduct an orchestra while playing every instrument by yourself. Then we have the fourth problem, which is output parsing nightmares. Now, the LLMs can return responses in different formats, and parsing them consistently, it is really a pain. And I'll show you an examples right here. Now, sometimes you may get this as a response. Some other times you may get this as a response from the LLMs. And other times you may just get this format as a response from your LLM. Now, your code basically need to handle all these variations gracefully by yourself. And this is how a typical development workflow without LangChain will look like. You have to write custom API code, then you have to build a memory system, you have to create that prompt template, and also you have to handle data sources as well. And then when you get the response back, you have to parse it manually by yourself too. And then, of course, if you have issues, you have to debug everything by yourself. And this is where LangChain comes in to save the day. Now, LangChain solves these problems by providing pre-built, tested components that handle that heavy lifting. Now, let's explore each one of them in details. First one is the chains. And think of chains as Lego blocks for AI applications. Now, each chain does one specific thing really well. and you can connect them together to build a very complex workflow. Then you have memory, which help us like in remembering conversations. Now, LangChain also provides different type of memory for different use cases already built in and available for us to use as well. Now we have prompts, or we call them prompt templates. So instead of really wrestling with strings and concatenations, we use the prompt templates that are built within LangChains very easily. Then we have agents, an AI that can use tools. So this is where things get really exciting. Now, agents are like giving your AI applications superpowers. They can decide what tools to use and how to use them as well. Then we got document loading and processing. Now, working with documents is a common requirement. LangChain makes this incredible straightforward for us. So you can see LangChain transform AI development from a complex engineering challenge into a creative building experience. Now, instead of spending weeks building infrastructure, you can focus on really what matters, creating amazing user experience.